So you're making around $100,000 per year and you're wondering how much house you can actually afford in New York. And that is a great question because 100K sounds like a lot until you start looking at home prices in places like Long Island, Queens, and surrounding areas. So in this video, I'm gonna be breaking down exactly what a 100K income can buy you, what price range you'll qualify for, and what your monthly payments might look like, and where that number actually takes you here in my state of New York. But first, let's start off with, if you are buying or selling here in New York, you can set up a free consultation with me right now by using the link in the description down below. And if you are watching from another state, wherever you are in the country, I can get you connected with a great realtor in your area through my expanded referral network. That link is down there as well. So let's get to the point of this video and let's talk about it. Let's start off with breaking down the math. So if you're earning 100 grand a year, that works out to about $8,300 a month before taxes. Now, lenders usually use a rule of thumb called the debt to income ratio, meaning that your total monthly debt payments, including your new mortgage, should not exceed anywhere from 43 to 45% of your gross income. So that gives you around $3,500 to $3,800 per month to comfortably spend on housing. And that number has to cover principal, interest, insurance, and possibly PMI. Now, property taxes in New York can swing dramatically depending on the neighborhood, especially school districts play a lot into this. So let's take a look at some realistic examples and let's talk about what that buys you in different areas. So if you're buying in Long Island, let's say you're buying in Suffolk County, your money stretches the furthest. So with 100K a year, you're likely looking at homes in the $450,000 to $550,000 range, depending on your down payment and your current interest rates. That might get you, a nice cape or a ranch in areas like Bay Shore or Patchogue or East Northport. Your monthly payment would land around $3,300 to $3,700 per year after taxes, assuming a 5% down payment, let's say, and a mid 6% interest rate, which is where we're at right now. If you head over to Nassau County, where taxes are a bit higher, that same 100K salary might cap you closer to 425 to 500K. In that range, you're probably looking at a smaller colonial or an expanded cape in areas like Levittown, Seaford, or maybe Oceanside. Still great homes, but just with less square footage and maybe a little bit older, needs a little bit of TLC compared to homes that will be newer, better condition in Suffolk. If you're searching in Queens, where property prices are higher and taxes are a little bit lower, but the loan size eats up your budget. You're likely going to be in a 400 to 450K range. Think co-ops, smaller condos, or maybe a starter single family home in places like Queens Village or Springfield Gardens or Laurelton, where homes are much more affordable. So you can see that same income looks very different depending on where you plant your roots, and this is kind of how I always advise my clients to be aware of this. Let's talk about some down payment scenarios, because a down payment is really going to be the thing that changes everything, right? So if you're going FHA, you can buy with as little as 3.5% down, but you'll have mortgage insurance. So on a $500,000 home, that's a down payment of just $17,500, which is great for getting in the door, but your monthly payment will be a little bit higher. So, if you're going conventional, on the other hand, the minimum down for first-time buyers is 3%, though 5% gives you a better rate and a lower PMI. Put 10% or more down, and now your monthly payment drops significantly. Plus, you'll be positioned to drop PMI faster as your equity grows, and that can save you a lot of money. So the sweet spot for most 100K per year earners tends to be 5 to 10% down, which is enough to keep payments manageable without depleting your entire life and your savings. Okay, so it's very important to not forget the other monthly costs. Okay, the house payment is not the whole story. You're going to want to factor in things such as utilities, which average around 300 to 500 bucks per month, depending on the house size. Also factor in for maintenance, especially for older homes, which you're gonna find in Queens a lot. Figure 1% of the purchase price per year. As a rule of thumb, I always advise to my clients. Homeowners insurance roughly is gonna be $1,200 to $2,000 a year on average. And also any HOA or community fees if you're in a development or a condo or one of those types of properties. So if you're house hunting in Suffolk County, you might have more yard, more acreage, and higher utility bills. In Queens or Nassau, you may have, slightly smaller lots, but you're gonna have higher insurance and also higher taxes. So it's about balancing what's important to you. That's really the story of buying property in New York. So the way you position yourself to win is that the reality is with 100K per year, you can buy a great home in New York. You just have to be very strategic, you have to be very smart. And one thing that I always recommend to clients that I am working with is to get pre-approved early, right? Don't just get pre-qualified. That means that an underwriter reviews your documents so your numbers are solid before you start looking, and this makes you much more competitive in the home buying process. You're also going to want to stay realistic about your monthly comfort zone. So don't stretch your budget just to win a house, especially with property taxes being what they are here. They are very high. Another thing I always advise is to shop local lenders. They know the nuances of Suffolk and Nassau and New York City programs that can save you money or open up better option, right? I've seen clients with 100K incomes, buy confidently because they understood their numbers, not because they were trying to compete with anyone else. So it's very important to work with people that know the state, that know how to buy property here. So if you're earning around 100K a year, you can absolutely buy a home in New York. The key is going to be understanding how the numbers break down, okay, and which markets fit your budget best. So it's not about stretching to the max. It's going to be about buying smart, strategically, keeping your payments comfortable, and then, building that equity over time. So when you plan correctly, you have a strategy in place, that 100 grand can definitely go a long way. And I think you would be very surprised at how many great homes are within reach when you have the right strategy and when you've prepared and budgeted and crossed all your T's and dotted all your I's. So if this video has helped you to understand what 100K can actually buy you in New York, don't stop at this video. Go ahead and click the video right here on your screen. Check out my free webinar, How to Go from Hesitant to Homeowner, How Smart Buyers Win in Any Market. Click that video right now, and I look forward to seeing you inside the webinar. Take care.